street, Sutek tried to line it up, and he was like, I don't debate y'all. Y'all too disrespectful. Aboriginal power won't even debate Sean because he's too disrespectful.
He is though. No, he really is though. I can't really like you, bro. You cool. Not a coincidence. I actually chop it up with but niggas that come off too heated and disrespectful, like I said, I'll debate you, bro. But we gotta get in the ring first. If you want to be disrespectful like that, at least disrespect me in the ring, bro.
Oh, God, bro.
Let's start now, bro. Can you disrespect me in a cage, bro? Like, I'd rather just do that. Then we go straight from the cage. You know what I mean? Put your ice on the way to the motherfucking computer, and we'll debate directly after that, nigga. Shit.
That's why I don't need these. Fucking with the nigga and shit. You feel me? Like, my it's like, wait, bro, talk like that, man. We gotta get face to face. We can talk to you like that, my nigga.
Yeah, Peanut. You feel me? Go ahead, I got my brother over here. Peanut, what's the word, my brother?
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, but lucky, let me say this, man. First of all, I'm an older brother. I'm young in spirit as I stay in shape, but I'm older. I deserve respect. Don't lie on me. You're not gonna get nowhere lying, because that's what's gonna make you fall face first. Second of all, I'm well known in the Pan-African community. I'm not nobody new. You're younger than me. You don't know this. I didn't put in work and expose Rob Bourne, Sutek, any of them people over there. They know it deep down inside. And I'm gonna be long-winded. I'm a Moorish American. I already had back and forth with them dude. They erased videos. I'm not running from anybody. Don't ever say that stupid shit again. Third, and last but not least, I'm not losing no debate to no Pan-African. So don't ever say that shit again, famo. And that's it. Appreciate y'all, man.
You heard that. If Sean P want to debate, tell him to debate the champ over there, right?
Sutek wanted so this like it's a pecking order. It's a pecking. So Sean want you, and Sutek want him. He say PMF ain't on his
No problem. There's no problem, man. Let's set up a Sutek debate, man. I don't like him anyway.
Okay, so I love that one, brother. I love that warrior mentality.
That's how it's going. I love to tell Sutek, tell me. There ain't nothing. My champ always in the chat. Album pop in. We'll set a topic. We'll set a date. We'll make it pay-per-view. We'll chop it up behind the scenes. I get their contact. We make it work. You know? He ain't ducking no favors, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. He put this over here on y'all channel, and then when we get in other
hey, alright, I will block your ass, nigga, because I'm well known for disrupting them chats over there, nigga. Stop fucking lying, nigga. You a goofy, nigga. I would never let a lame ass nigga around me in my face, clown.
You gonna block me and I don't be.
It ain't no time I ain't ever been on the Pan-African channel and made my impact. Stop lying. I'm a real man, bro. Stop lying, fam. Don't do PNF like that.
PNF, he trying to trigger you, brother.
Word the fuck up.
But listen, he did that to me, talking about, oh, word on the street, I'm ducking from John P. I've never even had but one conversation with this little disrespectful motherfucker.
Oh, okay, yeah, he a little hot. He like that.
So he like...
What I'm trying to say in the final analysis, once we take control of ourselves, we have to stop being imitators and be innovators. We realize we've got a continent 12 million square miles. Wherever our bodies are on the face of this earth, our cultural and political heartbeat is in Africa. whether you ever go to Africa or not. That is your home. That is the home of your spirit. And that is the heart and meaning and definition of your commitment. And none of us, any place in the world, will be free until that continent is free.
The Mossi warrior clan was created because myself and others like Brother Nahisi saw a need for a young African group to analyze information concerning the African phenomena with no bias, with rigor, and with scholarship. We created the Mossi warrior clan for the purpose of being an expert research team, of being a team that produced products, a team that was capable of producing products for African people globally to dispel myths, rumors, and provide them with accurate scholarship.
Peace to everybody in the chat. It's your boy Sean P in the place to be, man. Like the show, share the show, tell a friend, we live. I got a informative show for you today. As you can see from the title, it's the Aboriginal Massacre, Death to the Pretendians. And I am coming for those of you who have lied, deceived, misrepresented, and played with the hearts and minds of Black people in America. And notice it is only the Black people in America that you're targeting. You can't push your agenda on the Black people in Europe and Asia and South America and Central America. Your primary focus is on to attack the ignorance of those who get caught up in a belief. And mainly it's a lot of people who really just left the church. And that's kind of sad that you'll prey on these people. People who really just left. Oh, bad. I had to make sure I was heard. Now, a lot of times y'all do things like prey on these people for financial gain. And as we can see, the research guy, Kareemio, Dan Calloway, Top Cats, and I put AP on there because he from Tennessee, he full of shit. He ain't getting money like the mother dudes. You know what I'm saying? He has to do some other stuff. You know, your financial success hinges on the ignorance of others. And you're okay with that. You're okay with misrepresenting the truth and doing whatever it is. Now, there are 4 sources that I did not put in the description of this video today. And it's because, it might be 5. I think it's 5. And because they're literary works and they could be available to you potentially or not, I don't know. But they are literary works that I wanted to kind of cipher through at some point during this particular show. But I am here for all the smoke. Now, we've already established that those dudes are not going to come over here. They're going to stay in their safe havens. They're not going to abide by having to demonstrate and articulate their argument with evidence. Just like in the Facebook group that America's a Negro continent, those dudes that are on Facebook right now in that group, and it's like the same 10 people, will spam every post that refutes them with screenshots, memes, and things that are unrelated to the post. And those who pose questions about certain things, when you answer their questions, they're illogical, which basically means that they will say any and everything that are outside the realm of actual logic, poor research methodology, lack of comprehension, and they don't understand, and then have the nerve to share videos from stupid people that we've already refuted. And it's very much, every day is a circular argument. There's no advancement of the topic. There's no scrutinizing the sources that are distributed, and mainly it's only a few of us in there that are actually positioning these articles and arguments and data that refutes them. So it looks like it's a little light in the chat today, man. What's up, man? Peace to everybody. Those of you who will speak in the chat, and those of you who have not spoken in the chat yet, and those of you who are just listening, you might be working and got your earbud in your ear. Peace to you, whoever you are out there. I'm here for war. I smell blood. That's it. I smell blood. Because you're at the point of you can't make up no more than you've already made up. And you can't facilitate anything else out there as propaganda because there's nothing else for you to do. So now you have to put your back against the wall and fight. So fight. Where is your best evidence for your existence in North America, the United States of America? Where is your best evidence? Grandmama? You're going to hinge your entire argument on the shoulders of a lady that's either non-existing, can't speak no more because of her illnesses or her lack of memory. You're going to hinge all of that on grandmama. You have succumbed to that much stupidity that you would put grandmama in jeopardy like that. So again, I ask of you, those of you who are tuned in, who have not commented and said an absolutely single word, to please share this show. Share it to, they don't like me. And I don't mind sharing the link. But share the show. I'm waiting just a little bit longer before I get into the spiel because I know for a fact that there's somebody that's going to straddle in and I don't want to, leave them behind. Are you aware no one can comment? Zane could. Hold on 1 second. I was wondering why nobody could comment. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me fix that. I don't want y'all where y'all can't comment. I don't even know how that even happened. So while I am fixing the chat, and I apologize to all of you who are unable to actually communicate in the chat, y'all should have been told me that. Live commentary approved by users. Live reactions is on. Live chat is on. Live replay is on. All right, do me a favor. India, I'm pretty sure that you're in the chat. Can you do me a favor? Can you refresh your screen or come out of the video, come back into the video, or somebody type in the chat? Okay, there we go. The chat is open. My apologies. All right, there we go. Look at that. Woohoo! Y'all a mess. Talking about some woohoo. The chat is free. What's good? What's good? What's good, Ramon, Ava, Melanated Kim? What's good, Ibella? It was going on. Zane spoke earlier, so I don't know what happened. Nika, I ain't see your message. I wasn't even paying attention to messages at all. Oh, somebody hit me. We can't type in the chat on purpose. Why can't we type in the chat? My bad. There you go. Don't beat me up. I should have left you blocked though. I shouldn't have let you type in the chat. Yeah, Teddy. Is somebody else going live, Teddy? Somebody type me in all caps. I just want to let y'all know that. Why we can't type in the chat. My bad, y'all. I accidentally hit something. I guess I hit approve messages, but I don't have anybody to approve the messages, so I don't even know what was up with that. And then when I went to my phone to see what was going on, you know, that was my bad. So yeah, so let's get this thing going, man. You can't talk ish and don't make any type. Oh, okay. Whatever you trying to say. Hey, thought I was blocked. Okay, nah, you straight. So again, we're going to get into the show today. Y'all see who my targets are. If you look at the thumbnail, y'all see who my targets are. Now, many of you are wondering who was the guy in the middle. Okay, the guy in the middle, that is Karimio. So for those of you who don't know what Karimio looked like, that is Karimio. Now, you're probably asking, how did I get this video? How I get a picture of Karimio when he's never shown himself before? Maybe once, maybe. He has a Patreon channel. His picture's on his Patreon channel. Just a little digging, you know what I'm saying? A little surfing, a little researching. Digging up, boom. So now y'all know what Karimio looks like. The guy that's telling black people who they are. I made sure to put his picture on the screen. He looks nothing like Top Cats. He looks nothing like Dan Calloway. But they play out of the same playbook, those three. AP tried to distance himself a little smidget, but he still uses Karimio's work. And Ali, he don't use their work at all. Today my son's birthday, so he don't know where he want to go for his birthday to eat. I'm supposed to have the answer to that. But that is Caremio. That and no, he's not in the United States at all. He's not. So now that we got that established, let's kind of get into this build because I don't want to take all day. Where do I want to start? So real briefly, I want to come to this dude channel.
So
He's just playing a video, but I want to show y'all something. So AP's going to play a video, and we ain't watching all of this video. We're just going to get a gist of what his video is about. And my point to this is he gives minimum commentary on this video and provides absolutely no evidence to support the video that he's playing. So let me show y'all real quick.
Bro, we're gonna have to do a build together. You gonna have to get with me, man. Get my contacts, get my email. We're gonna have to lock in and get Sword over here on a build. I would love to see him come break down some of this information, some of the knowledge that he have gathered throughout his journey. We appreciate brothers and sisters bringing this information, you know what I mean, to the people. We really do appreciate that. Shout out to my brother Simp Amazing and Reginald Jones for supporting the channel this Grand Rising with the $5 Cash App donation. We do appreciate that support. But
y'all see how y'all see how they get this dude money, bro? Okay, he go live and they send him $3, $4, $5 cash out. Y'all see how the Abos support him, bro? It's a church. It's a church. We don't ask for nobody money. We just produce products, and then we ask you to support us by purchasing one of our books or some of our books. That's it. That's what we ask you to do. That's it. This man don't have nothing to give you but this goddamn video, and he made $10 so far off of playing somebody else's video.
Y'all ready to get into it though? I don't see no fire emojis. Say, man, hey man, Jeremy Royster, what's the word? What's the word? We got Javon in the building, David Bell, and David M in the building. Jeez, Big Block, New Kicks, Amaru, Simple Amazing, Bronze. We got the squad up in here. Big Dog, GG's, the Geechee. What's up with it, gang? Y'all ready to get into it? I just need to see some fire emojis. That's just gonna give me confirmation that y'all ready to get it in. Shout out to the beautiful Yanetta Yah in the building. It's always a blessing to see you in the chat. Shout out to 305 War Chief. Good to see you, brother. It's always good to see you. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into what we got.
All right, so the title of the video is The Wake and Bake Show, Watson Break, an 18,000-year-old site in Texas, and more. He really don't get into too much of this right here because he fully don't comprehend or understand the archaeological site or what it's telling you. But the majority of this video is about Watson Break. And I'm going to give you a little bit about Watson Break and not try to go too far where you're lost. But I only want to play about a minute of this. See, AP's not going to report the channel because it's a regular build. If it was one of his, streams or what, he can be monkey at any goddamn time he want to, but he ain't gonna be monkey about this. He a lot of things, but he ain't petty about this bullshit he doing because he's sharing somebody else's video.
Today, let's get into it.
Hey everybody, I have a video here for you today, and this is based on a question I had from a Q&A video, and I want to thank all the people who sent me questions and comments. I'll probably be making another one of those in the future. But one question I had, have you ever made a video on Watson Break or Poverty Point in Louisiana? And I have made a video or two or 3 on Poverty Point. But Watson Break, I might have only mentioned in a compilation video. But let me just take you into Louisiana here. But this, nothing can be seen today. Now, here is the site. Looks very normal today, non-conspicuous. But underneath this...
Now, if you just was to look at this site just by observation, you'd be like, oh, just some land in America, right? Just some land in Louisiana. Nothing spectacular, right? Little did you know that one of his oldest historical settlements lies right here in front of your eyes in this image.
What? What? The oldest historical... Okay, go ahead.
One of the oldest settlements in Louisiana where indigenous people live is right here in front of your eyes. You know why it's so subtle and it doesn't look like much? Because they deliberately removed it and to destroy it.
All right, so he just made a claim right here. He says this is one of the oldest settlements in Louisiana, right? That's a claim. And then he said the reason that it doesn't look like much is because they destroyed it, right? That's another claim. So he made 2 claims. Now, versus providing the evidence to argue that this settlement was once a thriving settlement for the indigenous people that inhabited this land and that it was destroyed, you would want to show and demonstrate that. Let's see if AP does this, or if he's just going to simply rely on a video. And I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to simply rely on a video. But is this man saying what AP just insinuated?
Tree canopy. There is an ancient site over 5,000 years old in Louisiana that there isn't much interest in. It's not a tourist site, obviously. I think part of this land is privately owned, and the deep antiquity of the early United States, just for some reason, doesn't get out there that much. A lot of my videos are on lost history, so I thought that was an excellent question, and Watson Break is certainly deserving of an individual video, so today is the day. But this is the site where it is located, in this area here, and let me just show you what this looks like under the tree canopy. Now, here is a look at this ancient...
Now, this is one of the ancient sites in America dealing with Watson Break in Louisiana. And obviously, there's a lot of trees and overgrowth, and just time has...
Bro, why are you interjecting in this particular video saying the same goddamn thing? You just simply said that this was a site that was disturbed, and then you turned around and claimed that it was destroyed. Show us it was a thriving civilization first. Don't talk to us about whatever your assumption is about this 3D image when you got this guy up here.
Went by. And so in order to get a full grasp of the settlement, they used LiDAR or X-ray technology to be able to peel back the layers of the canopy to be able to expose the true terrain.
Look, this motherfucker don't know what he's talking about. Excuse my French, Spanish, and English. He doesn't know what he's talking about, right? He's just making up something as he goes to make it sound like that he's aware of this information that he's just now seeing for the first time.
Rain that lies up under, and we can see that in this image is a settlement. This is what we call Watson Break. We're about to get into this now. Drop a fire emoji. Let's get it.
Ancient site, and I believe this is about 800 feet across, and there are mounds, and there have been theories that these are aligned to the solstices, and I'll show you that in just a second. And that would make this pretty much the earliest astronomical mound site in the United States, if the dating is accurate. And now let's just do a little...
All right, so he's still going to play the video, but he's going somewhere else. So this gentleman is using a source from the site ancientpages.com. I don't need him anymore, but I am going to come back to him. That's why I wanted to play a little bit of the video. This is the website that he's on. If you don't believe me, I'm going to show you in the video one more time, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who want to know where is this source, look to the top left-hand corner next to the date of the article. It says ancientpages.com and February 21st, 2018, ancient places, civilizations, featured stories, and news. Now that you know where it is, and it also has an author's name and says ancientpages.com, we can go to the source and we can look for this shit ourselves. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We have the source up. I just want to let everybody know that I have the source. I'm going to zoom in. You see it? Okay. Ancient Pages, February 21st, 2018. Civilizations, feature stories, new places. Ellen Lloyd, ancientpages.com. So again, I'm going to show the video so you understand that we're dealing with the same source. What up, hits? At any time that any abo won't smoke with me, I will interrupt what I'm talking about to deal with the drama. Straight up. So, source, it says, in northern Louisiana, North America, there's a very little interesting and mysterious ancient site known as Watson Break. This ancient site challenges our knowledge about North American history, as the mounds are some of the earliest known remnants of human construction in the New World. There's something very key and influential that has been stated here. In the very first opening paragraph, it says, again, in northern Louisiana, North America, there is very interesting and mysterious ancient site known as Watson Break. This ancient site challenges our knowledge about North American history, as the mounds are some of the earliest known remnants of human construction in what? The New World. So these ain't no pyramids, as they love to try to argue. They are mounds. These mounds are predicated to North America. So what's the validity of this? Mounds at Watson Break were raised by complex ancient society located in floodplain of the Ouachita River near Monroe. Watson Break consists of 11 ancient mounds that measure from 3 to 25 feet in height. Okay. Some sections of the oval-shaped earth berm probably have been eroded by rains and floods during the past 5,000 years. He said, he being AP, said that people destroyed this area. You remember him saying that earlier on in the video? He said it's one of the ancient civilizations, and that it looked like nothing because they destroyed it. He said they. He didn't say nature. He didn't say anything else. He said they. And it says some of the sections of the oval-shaped earth berm probably have been eroded by rains and floods during the past 5,000 years. So it looks like that because of nature. To add, the construction of the mound started 5,400 years ago, predating other similar public architecture at Indian sites by nearly 2,000 years. This suggests the region was inhabited by a pre-agriculture, pre-ceramic hunting society that was much more socially complex than previously thought. What we understand about the mound builders is changing due to research in the last decade. What was the purpose of the mounds? According to many archaeologists, the purpose of the mounds is unknown, since no human remains or ceremonial objects have been found. Perhaps the mounds were not used for burial or religious purpose. All right. Now, on the other hand, the area closed by the mounds was kept clean of debris, suggesting its use as a ritual space. The reasons why such elaborate activities first occurred here remain elusive. Another possibility is that the mounds were originally built to protect Native Americans from floods. Remember, this place was impacted by floods. Yet it seems logical to assume our ancestors must have had a reason for building these mounds. The surface of these ridges and mounds show little evidence of occupation, leading archaeologists to believe that Watson Break was occupied primarily before and during the building of the mound. And this is William F. Romaine, PhD, who runs the Ancient Earthworks Project, believes Watson Break is the oldest solstice-aligned earthwork complex in the Americas. You heard the dude say that in the video. This is a belief. He says it, believes. Okay. Now, all these images you also see in that same video. Right? And this is what they're saying about the site. Okay. And then they go on to do a little bit more. Now, the ancient mounds are very difficult to assess because half the site is on private property, making it very restricted. The archaeological conservatives purchased the other half of the site in 1996. In 2014, William Roman was finally given permission to visit the site. He invited Dick Shields, director of Newark Earthworks Center, and Bill Monaghan, associate director of Glenn Black Laboratory, to accompany him. Using LIDAR technology, William F. Romaine discovered Watson Break was indeed an important archaeoastronomical site that our ancestors used for sky watching. I don't know why they keep on saying that our ancestors, these motherfuckers ain't our ancestors. The theory that they're other people's ancestors. The theory that Watson Break was an ancient astronomical site is not far-fetched. Watson Break is just like Poverty Point, located in Louisiana. Poverty Point is at the place that remains a prehistoric mystery. The massive earthworks at Poverty Point near Epps were long considered to be the beginnings of extensive mound construction. It has been suggested that Poverty Point Octagon was the world's largest ancient solstice marker. Researchers now have reason to believe that the mound construction was widespread by 3000 BC, northern and southern Louisiana, Mississippi, and Florida, based on numerous discoveries where the Watson Break mounds and massive at Poverty Point built at the culture. Some scientists think that ancient mounds at Watson Break might have been raised without purpose. You remember that little river that's flowing through? That they said these floods occur? If there's a civilization there, they will need some type of protection against it. Now, I know it seems awfully Zen-like, but maybe the answer is that building them was the purpose. Bruce Smith, archaeologist specialist in American agriculture, Smithsonian Institute, Washington, said. Tristram Kidder, associated professor of anthropology at Tulane, said the archaeological sites found along the Ouachita River are typical of those found elsewhere in the southeastern United States and unique. They are unique in that they are older, but the earlier sites are more or less similar to the rest of the Southeast in general characteristics. It is challenging to say anything with certainty about Watson Break. Few archaeological excavations have been conducted, and the full extent of the fireworks earthworm is not yet known. Watson Break's earthworks testify to complexity of ancient culture that remains largely mystery. This article was updated last September. So what's the validity of this particular site as it reveals to AP is showing this shit? Because it makes no sense. So we're going to go a little bit deeper than A1. All right. So Watson Break archaeological site, a more accredited site that can help us understand it. So here's these markers for these mounds: north mounds, south mounds, and they're listed as such: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, W, X, Y, Z. All right. Okay. Now, it also gives us the height parameters. So we know that A, B, E, I, and J, well, A, B, yeah, being those 4 points being the highest, right? These 4 points. So I don't know what they were talking about, having some type of solstice or understanding of some things when their highest mounds are not even evenly distributed or created. Watson's Break is among the oldest and best preserved Middle Archaic period. That's 6,000 to 2000 BCE earthworks in Southeast. The site was built by Evans culture. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Evans culture, I want to give you an example of who this Evans culture, what it is. Okay. All right. So until recently, cultures in the Middle Archaic period were viewed as a little different from earlier archaic cultures. However, this attitude overlooked the importance of environmental change and the availability of new resources. By 6000 BCE, sea levels had risen enough to slow the flow of the Mississippi and other rivers. Slower currents helped create the Meadows, Loops, and Oxbow lakes, so characteristics of southern rivers today, and also allowed the development of the estuaries. People began to focus on riverine and estuarine plants and animals for most of their substance needs. While hunting was still important, fishing provided the most nutrients and calories. In some areas, shell fishing also became a mainstay. These resources have played a key role in the diets of Louisiana from the Middle Archaic to the present. The abundance of predictability of these resources may have played a significant role in supporting another development in the Middle Archaic, constructions and earth mounds. We'll pause a little bit. I need to go down so I can get back to our regular argument. All right, so by the 90s, there were enough mound sites in the Middle Archaic age radiocarbon dates that the old model collapsed. Instrumental in the collapse was 6 mound sites in northeast Louisiana that yielded good radiocarbon dates, firm geological support to the antiquity of the mounds, and distinctive suit of artifacts, and distinguished this culture, which archaeologists have called Evans culture, from other archaic societies. With respect to the early model of the mound builders, it is important to emphasize that the evidence of any kind of social hierarchy or plant cultivation at Evans culture mound sites. The most famous Evans culture mound site is Watson's Break, a complex habitation and mound site, 11 mounds connected by earthworks that surround a plaza. The other 5 sites have less than 7 mounds. The layouts of all 6 sites appear quite different, suggesting little collaboration between and the site construction, and perhaps little interaction between communities at all. However, some researchers see a subtle but persistent commonality in the geometric relationship of the mounds with one another. And the 6 sites do contain an unusual set of artifacts, which argues for considerable interaction. I ain't got to get into that. I just wanted to establish that so you know the validity of the Evans culture. Now, the massive site contains 11 earth mounds, ridges, 2 curved ridges link groups of earthworks that are referred to north and south mounds. Together, these features form a large enclosure, 984 by 656 feet. The site was occupied by Fisher hunter-gatherers who resided on the earthworks in all seasons of the year, although perhaps not year-round. Artifacts recovered from information on the fishing and hunting tools, cooking practices, foods consumed, and jewelry created a site. Watson's Break is located in northeast Louisiana on the east bridge of the alluvial terrace, overlooking the swampy floodplain of Watson Break, a minor tributary of the Ochita River. This was an ideal location with access to both the upper and lowland resources. When it is inhabited, the site was about the 1 mile of the Ochita River, and Watson's Break was a clear, faster stream. Avocational archaeologist Rekha Jones identified the site and, along with Harvard graduate John Belmont, sketched the first map of the earthworks in 1980. At that time, Watson Break was considered a poverty point culture. It was not until the 90s that the remarkable antiquity of Watson Break or 12 other Middle Archaic mound sites in Louisiana was recognized. In fact, prior to this time, many archaeologists were resistant to the idea that mounds were built during the Archaic period at all, with the Poverty Point site being the looming exception. Long-standing theories about the way cultures must operate insisted that large-scale earthworks could not be built until hierarchical status systems developed, with chiefs or someone with power to compel labor. In addition, archaeologists theorized that a mound builder or building society had to be supported by agriculture because it was thought hunting and gathering could not provide enough of the food surplus to support mound builders who were not hunting and gathering for themselves. Evidence from Watson's Break, the LSU campus Indian mounds, and other middle and late archaic sites have toppled these ideas. Almost everyone now agrees that natural resources were abundant enough to support mound builders and that the permanent status hierarchies were not necessary to get the jobs done. All right, before we transition, radiocarbon dates indicate that Watson Break was for some time before the mounds, ridges, and construction. The occupation was sporadic, with an initial occupation in circa 4000 BCE. Mound construction took place 600 years ago, from 3500 BCE to 2800 BCE. Many of the mounds exhibited multi-stages construction and extended periods of occupation on each stage. The large Mound 8 is 25 feet tall and a basal diameter of 230 feet. It may have had as many as 7 stages of construction. On the other hand, the largest mound, Mound E, the other 9 mounds range between 1.6 to 11 feet in height. In general, mounds was close to terrace edge were built in multiple stages, while those farther from the bluff were built in a single construction episode. Evidence of the occupation and earthwork is widespread, lacking pottery, inhabitants, and heated gravel to cook with. Hot rocks were either used in the hearths to provide a long-lasting heat source, or they were used to stone boil liquids in containers like leather bags or gourds. Heated gravel tends to fracture into small pieces, and pre-pottery sites sometimes contain huge amounts of debris. Watson Point, the density of fire-cracked rock is very high on the earthworks, but virtually absent from the level of interior of the enclosure. This suggests that cooking was done on the mounds and ridges. So they was on the mounds cooking. All right. Now, by now, y'all should be thinking, well, who the hell are these people? What they look like? Who y'all think these people are? You think they look like AP? Somebody, anybody. What up, try me? It was good. All right, so again, mound builders kept guard on Mississippi River. Ancestors of the Muscogee people built circular earthworks, mounds, and other stuff. So Watson's Break, ladies and gentlemen, is built by the ancestors of the Muscogee people. I wanted to put that on the screen just to let y'all know. So if you want to look these people up and understand who the Muscogee people are, we can do that. And, you know, I don't have no problem doing it live. But like I said, that reading should lead you to ask yourself the question, well, who are these people that they're referring to? What do they look like? Right? Interesting. So these are the images of the Muscogee. Okay. Some of them. Look at this. It's a Muskegee freedman. Y'all don't know what freedman is like. People don't know what freedmen are anymore. Just a sidebar. Just a sidebar. But who is this dude? The fate of the citizen, two descendants of the Muskegee freedmen, the people formerly enslaved by the tribal nation, is now Muskegee Nation's judge's hands. Two freedmen descendants got their first day in the Muskegee Nation court earlier this week. Rhonda Grayson and Jeff Kennedy appeared with their legal team, which included Demario Salma Simmons over a course of 2-day trial. Both plaintiffs are seeking citizenship into the tribal nation nearly 3 years after filing their case. After the first day of trial concluded, about a dozen supporters waited Grayson and Kennedy to exit the courtroom. Justice for Blacks Creeks shouted supporters as the plaintiffs of the legal team exited the building. Both Grayson and Kennedy are part of a group called the Muskegee Creek Indian Freedmen Band, which is working to get citizenship for all Muskegee freedmen descendants. What do you think these freedmen are? You already know. You already know they're of African descent. They telling you. They're telling you. So I just wanted to kind of, throw it out there for the whole Freeman bull jump. But back to our regular scheduled program. All right. So they like to do like lookership all the time, right? And they like to negate certain things. And they want to say, well, you see these black people told you that they're this or they're that. But look at these girls right here. This is an Oklahoma 2022 Muskegee Creek Nation Scholarship Pageant. Look at those faces. Look at their hair. Hair like a horse. Hair like a horse. That ain't it. Sean, you can't do that. You can't do that. You're right. I can't do that. I ain't like y'all. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna stay away from that. But I know these Black Creek, these people of African descent, ain't got no problem trying to claim their stuff. That I do know. And want to claim their stuff. They want that residency. But that's who the Muskegee people are. I'm gonna give you a picture of a one. Boom. Just to give you a little bit more. There's nothing black about this gentleman at all. But he's a Muskegee Creek. So that gives you a general idea of who these people were and watch them break. Okay? We don't have to make nothing up. So the validity of A1 sharing that with his people hinges on him never, and I guarantee you, the guy never in this video shows the Muskegee Creek. He just talks about the site and the things that they have found around there. And A1 never shows or refers to the Muskegee people. But now you know. So his video is irrelevant at this point. I wanted to walk y'all right on into that. The second part of his show is about 18 years in Texas, 18,000 years is Texas site. So the place is called Gaither. They found some too. Well, you see the dude right here. They found these spears at this site. Okay, you see that the archaeologists, they're digging, they're looking for things, they're unearthing things, they have it blocked off, they isolated their dig to help them uncover things, and they're tagging and measuring and dating and all of that good stuff, right? So all of that has occurred here, but I just wanted to bring this out because it wasn't really mentioned in the site. And, you know, of course, these people at this site ain't got nothing to do with A1 either or AP either. And guess what you can do? So you can contact William Museum for regular tours for a class, private group, or 10 or more, or contact. But I guarantee you, if we email them and ask them who are the people who lived at this site, I bet you they ain't gonna tell us it was what's the name of them? That's what we're gonna start doing now. We're gonna let them claim something, and then we're gonna email. Real brief before I move forward. I wanted to bring to your attention a few things that people should be aware of. Ancient Origins is not a credible site. It's a conspiracy pseudoscience source, right? It's in that category. It's not credible or reliable information. It's not supported by evidence. Not always supported by evidence. Sites like Ancient Code, pseudo, the Anunnaki, pseudo, Red Pill Project, pseudo, crossexamine.org, pseudo, Alternative Daily, pseudo, Checkpoint Asia, pseudo, Principi Scientific International, pseudo, Heritage Daily, Mag, and all of those, they go left based, look questionable, and then more pseudo, Scientific Facts, pseudo, Online Updates, pseudo, Conscious Life News, pseudo, right? You should be familiar with that. If you need to look up someone or vet someone's sources and they drop you a link, just media bias facts factcheck.com. Get your assistance and help them. Eric Qualls, what you saying no to? What's the no about, bro? I'll come back. Now, I'm going to briefly run through something about the Mayans real quick because they came up in that group. In India, you might appreciate this, and those of you who are in that group, you know, my people. Okay, pause. Stop the show. Get a link. I'm gonna come back to that, India. Hit the link, Eric. Come prove to me that those are your people. Be prepared to share your screen and show your information. I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm gonna mute my mic. I might shake my head. I might talk to myself, or I might wait and respond, or I might slow you down. But come prove to me that those are your people. Are you claiming to be a freedman, or are you claiming to be a Native American Indian? Okay, so you just answered my question. So you said hold on. This is the same Eric from Not a Coincidence Show, correct? Or a different Eric? I don't think your last name was Quarles. I don't know who sent me a cash out, but appreciate the cash out. Appreciate that. Okay, all right. Is it the same? Because I didn't see his name in the chat. If it's the same Eric, then yes, Eric is a freedman, and he's correct because Eric claims to be of Native and African descent. If that's the same Eric, I can continue the show because he is his people is freedmen. He's admixed. But if there's a different Eric, then I ain't letting that slide. You know what I'm saying? I ain't letting that slide. All right, so let me stop sharing. Let me get back to my freedmen or Indians by law. Yes, by law. They're not real Indians, but by law, yes, absolutely. It took a law to be enforced for the Africans that were enslaved by whichever tribe it is, for them to accept them. So the Muskegee, Creek, Cherokee, I don't give a fuck what you is. If you're a freedman, you're of African descent. And there was stuff fought for that, right? King Blue, right? Treaties went into play. So absolutely, by law. By and by, it took a law. But that doesn't genetically, biologically, that doesn't pertain to anything. So there is two things that's being true in the chat that's being argued right there. Absolutely. All right, so as I was saying earlier, Shalom Balam. This is a book. This is a codex. This is a copy of a codex, and it's in the museum. Okay, the books of Shalom Balam are handwritten chiefly in the 17th and 18th century Maya miscellaneous, named after all the Yucatec towns where they were originally kept and preserving important traditional knowledge in which indigenous Maya and early Spanish traditions have co-seed. So why am I showing y'all this? Because many people, there's an argument in the group right now, in their Facebook group on YouTube, Facebook group, and they're trying to claim the identities of the Mayans as being a separate people, meaning that the original Mayans were moved out of this location and brought in what came in after that was a whole nother group of people. So let me stop real quick and let me reshare because I'm gonna need audio. And I want to kind of I want to do this real quick. I want to go to the shorts, and I want to play this for people again.
Sometimes hundreds of thousands of residents.
And their descendants are still here.
There are still millions of Maya people living in this part of Central America.
Contemporary Maya people, we share the same territory, and we know that we share the same culture, but we also need to understand that we are very diverse. Right now, there are at least 30 Maya ethno-linguistic groups. I am Iachel Cojtirren. I am a Quiche Maya woman from Chichicastenango, Guatemala. Around this town, there are a few archaeological sites, and I always had questions about who lived there, what's the relationship between the people who live there and us. And then I discovered that there is actually a career called archaeology.
Sometimes hundreds of thousands of.
So you heard them that the people are still there, and they're there in the millions. So that guy people, whoever was saying whatever they were saying in the chat, they're very unfamiliar with the fact. All right, so anyway, knowing this information can now lead us to understanding their traditional knowledge of what they know about themselves. They compile knowledge on history, prophecy, religion, ritual, literature, and calendar, astronomy, and medicine. So these books, the Shalom Balam, can give us a better indicator of who these people were in this region and how they obtained their knowledge and brought it forth. Now, it was written in the Yucatec Maya language and using the Latin alphabet. The manuscripts are attributed to a legendary author called Shalom Balam. A Shalom being a priest who gives prophecies, and Balaam, a common sense Suri name, means jaguar. Priest jaguar. Some of the texts actually contain prophecies about the coming of the Spaniards to Yucatan, while mentioning a Shalom Balaam as their first author. So real quick, if we want to know, right, who is these people and what did they see? They give us their own accounts. The problem is people don't understand that when these Mayans are painting themselves, hence my community post the other day, that these paintings and depictions and colors are telling something of who's actually in the scene, on the scene. So I'm gonna go back to the page. I'm gonna go to the community page post, and I'm going to go here. Why did they paint their bodies so much? Asked by a white core primary school, chosen and answered by Professor Cecilia Kling. The Aztec were like all people all over the world and wanting to signal their personal and social identities and interests by means of artificially making their skins, their teeth, their hair, and or the choosings of the clothing items they wore. All right, so that's that. To come down a little bit more, I want to go to this whole color about this whole black stuff real quick. The Aztecs very much like us. In other words, for example, instead of whitening their teeth, some unmarried Aztec women colored them red. Yes, red, because red was believed to attract men. Unmarried women also wore their hair long and loose. All right, the Aztecs did, however, make more use of paint. We do not do to change the color of the skin. This was so in part because, I'm gonna say that slowly, the Aztecs did, however, make more use of paint than we do to change the color of their skin. This was so in part because for them, the color and composition of the paint were themselves significant. Certain colors and materials were believed to imbue the paint with their own special powers. Their example, in order to protect it. Hold on one second, Eric. Dangerous invisible forces. Aztec priests paint their body in black substance made of ground up poisonous creatures and insects such as scorpions. One more time. Who painted themselves black? Aztec priests painted their entire body with a black substance. So when you look at those codexes and you see black, not brown, not red, or none of the other colors, but when you see black in those codexes, they are referring to, and I know I'm not showing it on the screen, but I'm finna show it to you in a minute, but they are referring to priests. All right, so again, this post on the community page that I posted the other day. Is it gonna show the whole picture, bro? So if this is a priest, because right here you can see in his face the black in his face. But hold on 1 second. What's up, Eric? I gotta make sure this Eric from the other day.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good. I can't see, but I can hear you pretty good. Sound good.
Okay, hold on. I got my kids. I got my little ones with me.
Okay, so this is Eric from the other day.
It's the same guy. I'm the same one. It's me.
I have to make sure.
Yeah. Hey, but there was something somebody said in the comments, said free men are not Indians biologically. That's true, but everything else they are.
Yeah. Full agreement. Everybody in full agreement.
Tell them to come on to Oklahoma. They'll see all that.
Yeah. We're in full agreement. Nah, this is the legit Eric. I had to make sure.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you.
I had no
We'll
problem.
talk to y'all later. All right. Bye.
All right. Appreciate you coming up, Eric. I appreciate you coming up for sure. Definitely. Nah, Eric legit, bro. Eric legit. He legit all the way. Yeah. Yep. So back to what I was insinuating. Well, hold on. Let me go back to the community post and just to make out of this is a priest right here. And he's multicolored, and of course I'm saying he's a priest because you see the black in his face right there. We ain't got to make nothing up or do no flim, whams, and none of that, right? We understand, right? We understand what they're doing in their codexes. I wish this picture, I don't know why this don't come up, but it might come up on my phone, but it'll show black over here and it's a person and it would be a priest. But anyway, as stated, Aztec priests painted their entire bodies with a black substance made of ground up poisonous creatures and insects such as scorpions. They did this because it was hoped the noxious creatures in the paint would ward off any spiritual forces who might attack them. So that's why the priests wore black. This goes on to talk about the blue and other colors there. So the blue-green that we see symbolizes water, blooming plants, etc., etc. And you can get into all of that. But that's why I dropped that community post, because we seen them dudes using these codexes and trying to say, see these black people, this, that, and the third. No, that wasn't the case. For the Mayan and the Aztec, that's one and the same. And that comes from a primary source on the studies of those people. Where I'm at. Shalom. All right, there we go. So back to this. All right, so look, there's 9 books of the Shalom Balaam are known. Most importantly, those of the Samael, the Mani, the Tisman, but more have existed. Both language and content show that parts of the books date back to the time of the Spanish conquest of the Yucatec kingdoms between 1527 and 46. In some cases where the language is particularly terse, the books appear to render hieroglyphic script and thus to hark back to the pre-conquest period. All right, so I wanted to drop this on y'all real quick because this is one of the main reasons why we can make the indications of who those first people were and who built those great civilizations down there. And we know for damn sure that it wasn't no damn black people who claim to be Aboriginal, Indigenous, or all the other shit in America. Now, I want to come back to the mound. Do I want to do it? Okay, I'm not gonna highlight this real quick. I'm not gonna really get into it, but I'm gonna highlight it real quick. So I left y'all with a good source on the mound builders, right? From the early woodland period and coming on up the timeline and dealing with all of that. Make sure that y'all check this article out. It is in the description of the show, and it helps give more clarity on what we went through a little bit earlier. And notice they're saying specifically Adena Indians, Fort Ancient Indians, Hopewell Indians. Remember, you have Aboriginals in this community that are are not associating themselves with being Indians at all or Native Americans. They come up with their own terminology and all of these things, but there's no existence for them, right? We don't have the only time we get 3 people in the Americas is when Europeans bring black people to America. Black people ain't already here and is not going crazy. But anyway, so you see this source is reliable and it provides some additional content, especially about the Woodland period and the mound builders of that period. All right. And you can click on these other emphases and you can deal with what you want to deal with. And it's going to take you to other places and provide clarity. And you're going to see some stuff that you might not see elsewhere. But I like to give y'all evidence for things for a reason, because, you know, I don't do the makeup stuff. And this is they tripping in there. This is a not so good picture by any chance, but it's on their site. All right, so let me move on a little bit more to add on to the mound builders and give you some more additional information. The mound builders, America's indigenous engineers. As you can see here, the Cahokia Mound in Illinois. I argued with a dude about these people in that same group, and those were Native Americans. He is not claiming to be a Native American, but I just wanted to point something out. So there's an entry in the Redex, Native American 1645 to 1819, from a book printed in Philadelphia in 1803, in which British topographical engineer Captain Thomas Hutchison described the Cahokia tribe of Illinois Indians as having 50 houses and 300 inhabitants. And guess what? Possessing 80 Negroes. Let that marinate. The Cahokian tribe in Illinois. You know, the same Illinois, your boy, what's his name? 111 Truth claim where he at when he ain't in Cali. Those Cahokia tribe of Illinois Indians had 50 houses, 300 inhabitants, and possessed 80 Negroes. They owned them. Look, here go the source. Primary source is printed right here, copied and posted right here for a reason. 49 miles further north of Peory's Beach and 1 mile from the Mississippi on the south side of Small River, he places the village Cahokia, so-called from the Cahokia tribe of Illinois Indians, having 50 houses and 300 inhabitants, possessing 80 Negroes. The Cahokia tribe of Indians is small, and in this list of Indians, places it near the village of their, okay, from Native American Indians from 1645 to 1819. As shown as the northern end of Hutchinson 1778 map, the Cahokia tribe lived a few miles east of present-day St. Louis, Missouri. So you'll see the little map right there, say Illinois country. You see the Mississippi and all that going through from Native American Indians. All right, this does this time and time again. Good source, provides credible information, and you can substantiate it because there's some news articles that are here. From early American news, the original colonists of Vinland Lane and those who followed them in the after years from Northern Europe belonged to 3 different tribes of clans. In America, as in Scandinavia, the people of each tribe followed and obeyed every whim of their respective chiefs in war peace. And as a consequence of dependence on the clansmen and independence of the chiefs, the several tribes or clans eventually separated, broke up in their original clan on the Union, and became dispersed wanderers following their nomadic instincts. They wandered slowly away from the original region of mutual settlement in the east and thus separated. Each clan originated as a distinct mound system, along which, in the course of time, thriving in populous agricultural communities were established and under the guardianship of a member of the hereditary ruling of their race from early American newspapers. You deal with it. Keeps going through. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, these people are not stupid. They're clearly telling you this. The four great races can be resolved in two. The long-headed people and the people with short and broad heads. There is evidence that the long-headed people came from northern Asia and crossing the Bering Strait, continued their way downward as far as California. They crossed the Great Lakes, went down to St. Lawrence, made their way along the Atlantic as far south as North Carolina, and spread themselves into Ohio and Pennsylvania. There's evidence that they resembled the people of northern in face and form. The short-headed people had characteristics of the people of southern Asia and resembled the Malay race. The first traces of them we find in Peru and Central America. From there, they worked toward the north into Mexico, New Mexico and Arizona, and following the rivers which empty into the Gulf of Mexico, notably the Mississippi. They mingled at the last with the long-headed people in Tennessee and Ohio, and were finally absorbed by them. The Indian is a descendant of those two races. Originally, it says four great races, but the Indian descend from those two races. And this is old stuff that was written, that the science today catches up to it, cleans it up, and provides the authenticity and keeps it. But I just wanted to bestow this on y'all because I know that y'all wasn't really thinking that I was going to let some wabbos talk crazy and get away with it. I want all the smoke. I want all. So real quick, I want to have a ha-ha moment before I get into my literary works. My aha moment is, has anyone in the chat ever heard about the IORM? Has anyone in the chat, is anyone in the chat, and I don't even care if Danny, if you're in the chat listening, are you familiar with the IORM? It's called the Improved Order of Red Men. It's a fraternal organization in North America. IORM. IORM. Anybody familiar? All right, let's show. The Improved Order of Red Men is a fraternal organization established in North America in 1834. Claims direct descendant from the colonial era Sons of Liberty. Who are the Sons of Liberty? Sons of Liberty was loosely organized, clandestine, sometimes violent political organization active in the 13 American colonies, founded to advance the rights of the colonists and to fight taxation by the British government. All right. Their rituals and regalia are modeled after those assumed by men of the era to be used by Native Americans. Despite the name, the order was formed solely by and for white men. This whites-only rule was part of their bylaws until 1974, when the all-white clause was eliminated. Their current position is that they are now open to people of all ethnic backgrounds. In 1935, the organization claimed a membership of about 500,000, but is now declined to a little more than 15,000. Let me skip ahead, since y'all know that now. Now that y'all got a little understanding of that. In 1834, the Improved Order of Red Men was started as a revival in Baltimore. It was focused on temperance, patriotism, and American history, yada, yada, yada. Same old bullshit. All right. So in 1886, its membership requirements were defined in the same pseudo-indigenous phrases as the rest of the Constitution. What were those pseudo-indigenous phrasings? No person shall be entitled to adoption into the order except a free white male of good moral character and standing, of the full age of 21 great sons, who believes in the existence of a great spirit, the creator, the preserver, or the universe, and is possessed of some known reputable means of support. In one 1886 tribe, a member of 12 cent a week dues went into the fund, which was used to pay disability benefits to the members at the rate of 3 fathoms per 7 sons. That's $3 a week for up to 6 months. And then $2 a week. Some medical care, a suitable nurse was available, and also death benefit for $100. The fund was invested in bonds, mortgages, and building association stock. Meetings were held weekly on Friday nights. That's not it, y'all. Look at this bullshit. In 1904, another group called the Independent Order of Red Men emerged in Virginia, this time composed entirely of African Americans. When the improved order objected to the use of the name, the leader of the group, R.M. Spears, and the charter withdrawn and renamed the group of Afro-American Order of Red Men and Daughters of Pocahontas. The Virginia IORM still apparently considered an injunction against the new group, but it is unclear how the episode turned out. A tribe of 23 based in Metuchen, Virginia is attested by the existence of a ribbon badge and collections of the theta scope, suggesting that the group had at least 23 local tribes in the state. The badge is identical to the ones worn by the IORM, except with the AAORM initials. Monkey see, monkey do. Craziness, bro. Was bad. The Daughters of Pocahontas. This is basically why am I even bringing this up is because this era during this time and these fraternal orders and things of that nature were a cause of confusion for many. And it's evident of that, but it's more to dig up out of this. It's crazy because these dudes was using like Indian everything type crap. But I'm gonna get into that in another bill maybe. It was he just dropped the bombs here, but that's where many of the confusion comes in at. So anyway, man, the rise of the transatlantic slave trade in Western Africa from 1300 to 1589 by Toby Green. If you have not read this book, of course, or have access to it, there are some things in here. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to rehash an argument that has already been made and the evidence supports it. Okay? I believe everyone in this chat is aware that they descend from Africa, except for one person in the chat by the name of Matthew Craig, which is Lotus, and Lotus is just pseudo. Juju, Eric is legit. Eric can give you his card. Eric can give you his people card. They got the Freeman card. They legit. Y'all going back and forth too much. Eric is of African descent and native. He's mixed. In Oklahoma. Eric is just like Vasa. All of them people have an issue. There's plenty of people having issues, but Eric is Eric and Vasa are the same people. Eric, Vasa, and Turtle Gang. Relax. Y'all going too far with it for no reason. Only for him to show you that he's right. Because he gonna give you the card number. He did it the other day on the show. On Not a Coincidence channel when he was arguing with Squeaky Voice. All right, so I'm not going to go too far into this book at this juncture. What I want to do is I want to bring forth an argument of why I even have this book here. So remember, we were arguing with Squeaky Voice a while ago about this book, his source, right? About Indian slavery. And in chapter 3 of this book, which is on the screen, it says, in the French colonies of America, Indian slavery was never authorized by legal declaration during the early colonial period. In fact, the matter received no attention whatever from the home government. Such lack of notice on the part of the monarch was due to the insignificance of American affairs in general, and to unimportance of the institution of Indian slavery in particular. Gradually, however, as the matter began to assume importance in the system of trade, through the influence of the trading companies, certain indirect royal actions was taken in the high 18th century. And this action recognized the existing institution as legal. The modification which the king sought to accomplish in it did not aim to destroy the institution, but rather tended to make it better suited to requirements of trade. Some doubt appears in the exit regarding the legal status of Indian slaves, and in order to remove it, Jacques Rodalt, the intendant of Quebec, decreed 1701 that all the Pawnees and Negroes who have been bought and who shall be purchased hereafter shall belong in full proprietorship to those who have purchased them as their slaves. Ladies and gentlemen, in chapter 3, in the very first opening, there is a distinction that is made. The Pawnees, which must be referring to Indians, and the Negroes, right? There's a clear depiction between these two. I mean, a distinction made between these two that lets us know that that was the case. Although Squeaky Voice is going to argue the difference. So I went back to Toby's book, because Toby's book, right, refutes their arguments about certain things not happening, and then we actually have that in its full clarity. However, I want to double down on it because they always want to throw out this book that they never read called Asian Slaves in Colonial Mexico, Chinos to Indians, right? They always use this book, okay? Now, we've already went through this book. We clearly have an understanding of what is going on in this book, and we can draw our conclusions according to the evidence of the author. I had to yawn, but excuse me. This is proof positive here what was going on. So I got this on deck because I wanted to argue with somebody today, and I just wanted to go ahead and debunk them real quick with this source since they wanted to bring it up. But unfortunately, that person is not in the chat, and that person is not responding, and they don't want this motherfucking smoke. Straight up. So I shared this before. Well, people ignored this book. It is the native population of the Americas in 1492. It's the second edition by William Denevan, and its forward is by George Lavelle. So yeah, let's get straight to it. This is the New World European encounter. Montezuma welcoming the army of Cortez outside of Tenochtitlan, Mexico. 1598. The book is about 1492, by the way, and it's a second edition. So let me get down. Let's go to 13. Why we want to go to 13 real quick is because it's the historical demography of Aboriginal and colonial American and Tipton perspective. I want to find all the abos in the history books. I have yet to find an abo in a history book. If you have found an abo in the history book, could you please provide me with the name of the book that the Aboriginal, Indigenous, Black American shows up in that bitch? Please and thank you. Because one doesn't exist. And make sure that it is published. His publishing date ain't the last few years. So let me get down to page 13 real quick after we get past the introduction. How many Indians were there? No one will ever know. But can we at least agree, or rather there were a few or many, or apparently yada, yada, yada. Europeans came into abrupt confrontation with previously little known or unknown populations throughout Asia, Africa, and Pacifics, as well as the Americas. The problem of estimating numbers at the time of the initial contact might seem to be the same for all these areas, but such is not the case. Asia and Africa were in constant contact with Europe, if only indirect, whereas Pacific and the Americas were isolated, or nearly so. As a result, there was a very rapid decline of native peoples in the New World, in the Pacific, following exposure to old world diseases, but not in Asia and Africa. God damn, we got to keep arguing that point, bro. Oh, let me see something real quick. Well, yeah, there you go. All right, here we go. So, can y'all see this? We good? It might be a little better. The debate over the size of human populations in pre-Columbian America and the changes in them during the centuries of European domination has long been characterized by wide differences of opinion and much fever. In recent decades, the debate continues, if anything, with greater participation, and one suspects with no diminution or emotion. Distinguished within its series of questions would have been the numbers of the people in America from the arrival of the Europeans to the beginning of the 19th century, that is, during the colonial period. What is happening and what has happened in the present day to the Indians as a distinct group in terms of numbers. Although none of these questions can be declared of easy answer, the last, with its needs for an exceptionally elusive, clear definition and its involvement in problems of cultural assimilation and passing from one group to another, may turn out to be the least soluble. Involved also in the debate are differences over method, evidence, and basic philosophy that have much to do with positions taken. At this point, it may be well to borrow from the millennial wisdom of rhetoric and examine the discussion as a whole and the perspective on it. I don't know if y'all can see Eric's source, but he uses freepages.rootsweb.com/eYeology. Oh, he's showing y'all his shit. Yeah, so there's a treaty involving the Creeks and the United States. There's a treaty that involves the Cherokee and the United States. There's a treaty that involves the Chickasaw and the United States. They're specific to whatever tribe that it is. That they're not a general. There's not one treaty for all Native American specific. So whatever tribe it is, it's a treaty for that tribe. And what the freedmen are doing are fighting for recognition into those tribes because they have enslaved ancestors and or admixed with them, and they want that identity claim. So he's not lying to you. These people have for Khalil, for him it's on the hold on, time out, bro. Pause the goddamn slow down. Y'all do know that Eric has Native American ancestry and African ancestry. He's claiming the identity of both. I think where y'all are y'all are steadfast in is trying to argue because y'all think that he might be Wabo. He ain't a fucking Wabo. I keep telling y'all that. On the show the other day and argued with Ling Ling and told Ling Ling directly that he was an indigenous or whatever the fuck. He asked him for his information. Ling Ling made a claim. Ling Ling couldn't prove the shit. When I said the dude is just like Vasa, you have to talk to him the same. Well, you don't have to, but he is just like Vasa. So if you're going to accept the shit Vasa says, then you must accept the same shit because they from the same guy. They went through the same circumstance. And they have the same admixture in their family where they are both native and African. And they don't deny both either one. So I don't understand the confusion. Ling Ling, Asian like a mother. So, let me get back on track. The basis for the dispute was first initially the first years of European penetration and conquest of the Europeans reported dense populations, many area La Casas, for example, in an estimate which was famous of notorious reported for the count of Hispaniola under the Spanish control in 1996 showed a million Indians adjustment for area not under Spanish control. And with due attention to comparative density, he arrived at a total figure of 3 million. Gonzalo Fernandez Oviedo estimated the Aboriginal population of Castilla, Oro, Panama, and South Central America 2 million. Even though Bernal Diaz del Castillo objected scornfully to the reports of Lopez Gomora, especially of warriors opposing the Spaniards, his own report on the province of Soconusco, which is now southwest Mexico, gave a population of 15,000 in 1525, which estimated, he stated, by 1568 has shrunk to fewer than 1,200. In its present forms, the debate really began to take shape in the 18th century with the beginnings of critical history. Writers at the time examined early testimony and evidence of all kinds, testing by comparison with what they knew of social structure in an attempt to arrive in some determination of probability. The two positions that emerged exemplify the comments of Clavigero and William Robertson in the Mexico Jesuit, accepting an estimate of 30 million for pre-conquest Mexico. The Scottish writer scornfully declaring that the Spanish had found sparse settlements of barbarians, which in the surprise at seeing even modest structures, they turned into populous civilized realms with great stone temples and palaces. The conquerors were also led to hyperpolate, wrote Robertson, by desire to enhance the reports of their services to their king. There is little need to trace the controversy through the multitude of estimates and along the discussions since the middle decades in the 18th century. An indication of few estimates in our own century should suffice. Some of the better known higher estimates of pre-conquest Aboriginal population by scholars early in the century were made by spending means of Rivet spending, greatly influenced by his knowledge of Mayan area, 40 million, 50 million Indians for America, 1492, 50 million to 75 million around the year 1200 of the era Rivet. A rising similar estimate of 40 to 50 million Indians for America in 1492 means estimated population of the Incan Empire was 16 million to 32 million. The most impressive and carefully statement was by famous German scholar Karl Sapper. On the basis of technology, resources, and comparative examination of extent and densities of human occupation, he estimated 37 to 48.5 million or 40 to 50 million Indians for approximately 1492, of whom 12 million to 15 million were Mexico, an equal number of Andean area, 5 to 6 million in Central America. These scholars, it should be noted, were all specialists of what one might call the areas of high culture. Contradiction of these estimates came quickly from a group derived much of its initial inspiration from the studies in America north of the Rio Grande, admittedly an area of considerably lower density of population of what might call the lower country. James Mooney prepares a series of careful estimates of Aboriginal populations north of the Rio Grande, tribe by tribe, which added up to the total pre-conquest population of 1.1 million. Pause. The reason that I am showing you this book and going through these numbers in the very first chapter is that it uses the word aboriginal. But who they are referring to are not the people that are claiming to be aboriginal. When they are saying the use of aboriginal, they are saying the first people to inhabit the Americas, which is the same indicator that I read earlier in a other source that was provided by Ling Ling, when that source provided us with 3 class groups: European, red, and black. But in their instance, they said Indian and Negroes, just to make it relate. So, in the very first chapter of this particular source, I know I read this to y'all before, but it's all about the numbers. Trying to calculate how many people were actually in the Americas by the time 1492 had arrived. And you see these people coming into the, you see these European coming into contact with these people. So that is the basis of this chapter and its argument in trying to set a foundation for how many people actually populated the Americas, and where was the highest density of those populations. Was it more central? Was it more southern? Was it more northern? Okay. And they all hint around that significant area of central, the central area where the Mayans, the Incas, and the Aztecs were, and how populous those areas were, especially because they had the density rates. Excuse me. I had to yawn again, bro. I'm trying to go down a little bit. All right, so the Caribbean, Central America, and the Yucatan. All that's been discovered up until the 1549 is full of people like a hives of bees. So it seems as though God had been had placed all or a great part of the entire human race in these countries. That was from Lacasis, which whatever he says doesn't really hold too much weight for me. Bro, if you was on the panel, I would still be, because you ain't got no information. Like I said, if you're gonna hit my panel link, you must be able to share your screen, Lotus. You need to share your screen, Lotus, and you need to provide your sound argument with evidence. We're not finna let you on the panel and just talk to us like you've been talking to us for the last 10 years. We ain't the rules of engagement with you is totally different, bro. We are not going there with you. So anyway, reconstruction of the 16th century native population patterns of tropical lowland Middle America is particularly difficult because of extremely rapid decline and only fragmentary reporting during the early contact period. I want to zoom out real quick. The debate over the magnitude of the New World native populations properly begins with the publication of 1552. All right, this is by Lacasis, who arrived in Hispaniola in 1502 and served as a priest after 1512, traveling widely both in the Caribbean and on the mainland. He is known for his outspoken defense of the Indians against inhumane treatment, and he wrote of millions of Indians dying at the hands of the Spaniards within a few years. He claimed a total mortality of over 40 million by 1560. The picture painted by Provincium Relations and blood-curdling, seemingly one of the greatest of all genocides. The sort of atrocities described certainly did occur, as they are mentioned by many others. However, numbers aside, Lacasis gave little consideration to the introduced diseases over which the Spaniards had little control, as the probable major factor in the Native American population decline. Pause. So ladies and gentlemen, did y'all know that the Native American population assumed that it was their deity when these people got sick and was dying off like that, that they had done something wrong, or their deity was after them. So real quick, I got it in the group. I put it in the group. I know I should have put it on the community page, but let me go to let me find where I posted it. Then I'll share with y'all on some Gorilla Manila. All right, this dude asked me about he had asked me about sickle cell trait and stuff like that, right? This dude in the whole group showing this book, bro, 4 hours ago. The same, not this book that I'm reading right now, but the Asian slaves in colonial Mexico, which are irrelevant to him. So I don't even know why he doing it. I guess I got to get TikTok or something. I ain't doing no TikTok. That motherfucker just got already crazy on Facebook. All right, so I'm almost to. It's a lot of information in this group. A lot of this stuff is me too. I ain't gonna cap. I went on a spree because they be just posting stuff, man. They don't be having no validity to nothing. They just be posting stuff and then they just go in denial. All right, so I'm almost to it. When I showed them people about that Pretendian in Canada getting 3 years of jail time for perpetrating a fraud, they had them. They was hot. They need to do that here in America. Put all these fake wabos in jail, trying to claim somebody's history and identity. Don't put them in jail. But their ass won't be pretending no more. They had me in there talking about the Adam people. What are these people, boy? They go stupid. Y'all don't go in that group. Genetic overview of Mayan people. They don't read. I'll tell you that right now. That's why they don't read. They only associate with what each other post. They support that. They don't read it. They're not trying to learn. But I want to give y'all this quote, sure, since I'm right here at this point about the Casas and the whole 9 yards. This new Wapian dude, he just spoke group, bro. What is this? It's all new Wapian mumbo jumbo. This dude tried to say that my Aztec piece was the same. I'm like, you cannot do that, bro. That makes absolutely no. Oh, I did do a screenshot of this stuff. All right. All right, so here you go. I should have did this earlier. Just type in sickle cell. Okay, so here you go. It says Native Americans initially believed that illness primarily resulted from being out of balance in relation to their religious beliefs. Typically, Native Americans held that diseases was caused by either a lack of magical protection, the intrusion of an object into the body by the means of sorcery, or the absence of free soul from the body. Disease was understood to enter the body as a natural occurrence if a person was not protected by spirits, or less commonly as a result of malign supernatural invention. For example, Cherokee spiritual beliefs attributed disease to revenge imposed by animals for killing them. In some cases, disease was seen as a punishment for disregarding tribal traditions or disobeying tribal rituals. Spiritual powers were called on to cure disease through the practice of shamanism. Most Native American tribes also used a wide variety of medicinal plants and other substances in the treatment of disease. So let me give you the source. William S. Lyon, 1998, Encyclopedia of Native American Healing, W.W. Norton and Company. That's not it. Daniel E. Moorman, July 1998, Native American Ethnobotany, Timber Press. So when you go back and I say this right here, Las Casas gave little consideration to introduced disease over which the Spanish had little control as the probable major factor in native population decline. Now you can kind of put two and two together. You can see how historians are seeing it. You can see how Las Casas is seeing it, and you can see how the natives themselves are seeing it, because they thought these diseases was because of the reasons that are listed, that I just mentioned. Crazy, ain't it? Yep. It's crazy how they go. What up? What up? What up? What up? Yeah, it's hella pseudo. But anyway, the Brevisia relation is a propaganda trick and was so considered by contemporary Spaniards, while Spain's European enemies quickly translated and circulated it, thereby contributing to the Black legend of Spanish terrorism in the New World. Most historians discount the population estimates in the Brevisium relation as serving only to support the Crusades by Las Casas. Recently, however, there have been calls for re-examination. Are the early estimates to be taken at face value or not? Were there gross falsifications, as vigorously argued by Rosenblatt? The figure of Las Casas Oviedo and the chronicles are invariably said to be much too high as a result of the ulterior motives, because those authors magnified their own deeds by exaggerating the number of natives. However, and a prior assumption of international exaggeration for reasons because ignorance is not justified, the chroniclers' early estimates for Central America were also high, and they have been substantiated, at least in part, by the work of Borrow and Cook in treating the initial Spanish activities in the Caribbeans. All right, the early Spanish Mayan Sawyer argued convincingly that the chroniclers had no reason to distort their population estimates and that they were well qualified to make estimates. There was neither reason or vanity nor the practical ends to inflate the native numbers. Cook and Borah make the same defense in their article on the credibility of contemporary testimony in Mexico. McLeod argues that those claiming the conquistadors were lying have a heavy burden of proof placed upon them. A reasonable approach would seem to be to use contemporary estimates as a point of departure, rather than either to accept or reject them without good cause. So Hispaniola is particularly concerned with the historical demographic of Latin America because it was the first New World settlements were founded by Columbus. And it was from there that we have the first reports of very large native populations and their massive mistreatment at the hands of the Spaniards. For Hispaniola, the lines in the debate over high and low native populations are clearly drawn in the studies on one hand by Sawyer and Cook-Boer, who tend to accept or exceed Las Casas, and on the over Rosenblatt, who in the following essay is very conservative. Sawyer cited several Spaniards who gave figures for Hispaniola or part of it over a million, probably on the basis of apparent census adults and tributed purposes made by 1496 Bartholomew Columbus on orders from Columbus after severe depopulation in 1494 and 95. Las Casas said the original population in 1492 had been 3 to 4 million. Sawyer has been accused of reviving the Black legend, whose strength at times seems to rest more on the size of the original native population than on what happened to them. He has been sharply criticized in reviews by Spanish historians such as Salvador Madrigal, who sees Sawyer as overly influenced by Las Casas, who is himself one of the most controversial figures of the conquest. In a recent published essay, the Aboriginal population of Hispaniola, Cook, and Boro re-examines much of the same evidence as Sawyer's and others, but they derive at a figure of 3.770. Indians, right? For 1496 on the basis of Columbus count, and from this they derived a figure of 8 million for 1492. These calculations are even more controversial than their 25.2 million for Central America. I want to pause right quick, and I'm gonna come back to that. But the reason that I want to come back to that because I'm finna leave somewhere in 30 minutes, but I wanted to get to something else. Even though it's talking about the early Americas, and I need to do a whole show on that. And just showing y'all the evidence in this thing, man. It just put people to an end. But I want to bring y'all to the Encyclopedia of Native American Tribes. I did a post and something else that I've done with this source, and I wanted to bring it to light for people who don't really know what's going on with this. So this, again, this is the Encyclopedia of Native American Tribes. And ladies and gentlemen, this is in alphabetical order. Every alternate spelling and alternate name in alphabetical order of who these people are. You remember Ling Ling kept on arguing, talking about the Cherokee name ain't this, or whatever he kept saying, the Chickasaw name ain't that, or whatever he just kept insinuating. Well, this book has those alternate names. They have them, and you can see them on the screen. So we don't have to make anything up, right? We have people today that are arguing of the Ojibwe people. They claim to be of the Ojibwe. The Ojibwe are Chippewa. So if we go and we look up the Chippewa, right, we should have some identification of who these Chippewa people are. Let me pull it up and share my screen, just so everybody got it right here. Okay? So all we have to do, right, is fully understand what we're looking for, right? Since they like pictures and they like to look at shit and make up things, we can start to indicate. And then the Ojibwe, these are the Chippewa people. And it goes, who you think the Ojibwe? Look, I ain't gotta make nothing up. Ojibwe, they the whole ones that be like Ninja and all that. Look, they gonna say, do right here on the end, do right here on the end, and they gonna call these people $5 Indians. They gonna say they $5 Indians. These ain't even. They gonna say that. They gonna say this. They gonna try to claim this dude with the top hat, and this dude potentially. They gonna negate all of that, all because of what they're looking at. They ain't even studying all of that to fully understand who these people are and that they still have an existence. And we just ain't hearing from all of these people. But I wanted to show y'all the Chippewa. Look at the white wolf. Look at white wolf. Look at him. You finna sit here and tell me that Dane Calloway, Phoenix Moon, the research guy, you know what I'm saying? A1, AP, that's them? Look, The oldest Native American to ever live, White Wolf Chief John. Right here. Look at him. On the screen for y'all. This dude the oldest. He the oldest to ever live. White Wolf. That's his name. Y'all calling him black? He the oldest to ever live. He looks nothing like y'all. Let's go visit so y'all really fully understand about White Wolf. Then I'm gonna slide out. It is often claimed that he was 137 years old at the time of his death in February 6, 1922. White Wolf John Smith was a Native American of the Ojibwe, Chippewa. That's why I did that specific. Look at him. Come on now. Reportedly 136 years old. Look at him. You can't get away from him. You can't get away from him. Look at him. His face ain't fake. It's him. That's how he looked. We talking indigenous people. Facts. If Phoenix Moon is alive. So I paused the book right there, the other end, because I need to go. I'm more in depth in it. But this book right here helped me understand. This book right here helped me understand that a lot of people will lie that whole Abo community and they don't know the tribes. There's so many tribes of people, and none of these tribes are identifying them. And when you go and you look these people up and you see who they are, right? It just puts them at odds in their arguments. So yeah, this entire book deals with these tribes. And it's significant, and it gives you insight to all of that, would actually lead you to other places to be able to extract other information up out of it. But yeah, man, I want to leave it right there because I'm gonna come back later on and we're gonna go up and smoke. But he debunked all of them. 137 years old. He was born in 1784. 137 years old. He know what a goddamn Indian looked like. Too bad he ain't here no more. But he knew what an Indian looked like, and he was Chippewa, Ojibwe. Y'all speaking his language out here. Some of you fake Pretendians. Look at him. Crazy, crazy. But look, man, that's it, man. I got to get up out of here, bro. I got to go do this birthday dinner shit. You better not let Sabir Bay hear you say black. Sabir Bay pseudo as fuck. I ain't worried about no Sabir Bay. Matthew Craig. You ain't got no laptop, bro. Ain't no sense in you talking to me. You can't, you know what I mean? You ain't talking to me. What's up, Cujo? But yeah, man, for those of you catch the replay, you know what I'm saying, running back, man, all the sources is there, but I'm gonna probably come back later on and get into ebooks. Or one day later this week, I'm just gonna do literary shit and expose Diane them for what they are. Compulsive lies. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the 2 cash apps that I get. You know what I'm saying? As real in the battlefield. Appreciate that. You know, I don't be dropping it, but you know, I appreciate it. DJ Dundada. I need a chopped and screwed elbow disc mix. You know what I'm saying? Make that happen. Dundada. Man, y'all make sure y'all catch this replay, play it back, get it shared. It's your boy Sean P in the place.
What I'm trying to say in the final analysis, once we take control of ourselves, we have to stop being imitators and be innovators. And realize we've got a continent 12 million square miles. Wherever our bodies are on the face of this earth, our cultural and political heartbeat is in Africa. Whether you ever go to Africa or not, that is your home, that is the home of your spirit, and that is the heart and meaning and definition of your commitment. And none of us, any place in the world, will be free until that continent is free.
The Mossi warrior clan was created because myself and others like Brother Nahisi saw a need for a young African group to analyze information concerning the African phenomena with no bias, with rigor, and with scholarship. We created the Mossi warrior clan for the purpose of being an expert research team, of being a team that produced products, a team that was capable of producing products for African people globally to dispel myths, rumors, and provide them with accurate scholarship.